So for today's devotion, I'm preparing you in advance for what I'm going to do at the end of the devotion. Now that we've gotten to know each other a little bit, you've kind of gotten a feel for how I'm doing these devotions, how I go through the text. I'm going to start adding more. And when we get there, you'll be like, oh, I see what you did there. But we're going to start in Ephesians 4. And it says, and this is actually one of the verses on the back of the shirt. And if I have time, I'll explain the shirt. I, therefore, a prisoner for the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which you've been called with all humility, gentleness, patience, bearing with one another in love, eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There's one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope that belongs to your call, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. But grace was given to each of us according to the measure of Christ's gift. Therefore it says, when he ascended on high, he led a host of captives, and he gave gifts to men. In saying he ascended, what does it mean that he also descended into the lower regions of the earth? He who descended is the one who also ascended far above all heavens, that he might fill all things. That's kind of a tangent, even it has parentheses. It's like, he was as scatterbrained as I was, maybe. And he gave the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, and the shepherds and teachers to equip the saints. Here's our key verse: to equip the saints for the work of ministry, for building up the body of Christ, until we all attain to the unity of faith and the knowledge of the Spirit of God, to mature manhood, to the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. This I think the two linchpins of this section are, in verse 1 it says, walk in a manner worthy of the calling you have received. And then it describes that calling, and it describes a bunch of different functions. But then it says that all of these different, I guess, callings within the church, different offices within the church, are to equip the saints for the work of ministry, for the building up the body of Christ, for service to one another. And this is one of the verses on the back of the shirt. It is to be built up for service. And you'll see there's a fork, there's a knife, and a spoon. Forks stab, knives cut, spoons serve. And then the back of the shirt says, be a spoon. This passage in Ephesians calls us to serve in humility, to walk in humility, to bear with one another with gentleness and patience, to serve the body of Christ. And there's not a whole lot more to it. I mean, I can break down all of these different things in the passage, but the bottom line is we're called to serve and live in unity with one another for the sake of the body of Christ. So, and here's where I'm going to start. I'm going to throw in, I guess, challenges for you to do, action steps for you to take going forward. I'm very much a action step guy. So what I want you to do, because this is coming out on Friday, what I would like you to do is sometime this weekend, I want you to serve someone. And it doesn't have to be big. It can be as simple as if you are a husband or a wife and your spouse usually does the dishes or washes the laundry, do that for them. So, say my wife usually does the laundry, which she does because I hate folding clothes. It's my least favorite thing to do. So one thing I could do to serve her this weekend would just be to do the laundry for her. Not make a big deal of it, not say, oh, we'll trade or something. Just without saying a word, just do the laundry. Maybe ask a couple questions to make sure I do it right. Or if you're a kid, maybe clean up your room without asking or something like that to serve your parents. Or maybe do something for your neighbor. Mow your neighbor's lawn for them this weekend. I'd maybe ask first because some people are touchy about their lawns. But do something to serve someone this weekend. And what I want you to do after that is, below this, if you feel comfortable with it, below this video, just put a little comment about how you were given an opportunity to serve. Because that's what we're called to do. So that is my challenge for you. And I want to see how many of you follow through on it. I'm a math guy. I'm gonna compare views to comments. I'm just curious. It's not like I'm gonna, bring down the hammer of the law on you or something if you don't. But here's my challenge for you. I want you to do your best to try it out this weekend. You got, 2.5 days, depending on when you're watching this. But that's what I have for you. Brothers and sisters, go in peace. Serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.